G'day Bambies, Kaleidow here, and today I'm bringing you all another tiny homes video. So this one is a modern loft home. So this isn't exactly the type of builds that I usually do. Right now I did start with a bit of a triangle roof because in all of the images I was seeing online of loft houses, they had that triangular roof, but unfortunately in The Sims, we cannot have that sort of triangular loft style ceiling because usually it will be totally open and you'll be able to see all of the exposed beams to do with the roof and stuff, but sadly we cannot do that in The Sims 4, so I made do and made a bit more of a modern concept of this whole thing, and I think it ends up being kind of cool. And you know what? I don't really do modern, so it was sort of stepping out of my comfort zone, but also doing playing around with some new aspects that I haven't really touched on in The Sims 4 yet, like glass and big windows and more of those modern little decals that we have, which I've absolutely not touched at all. So it was kind of fun, I have to admit. And I really got excited about having all of these big windows because I really like the idea of living outdoors, indoors. But yeah, so this is quite a cute little open space we have downstairs. I wanted there to be a kitchen, a living space, an area where they could eat their meals, and that's basically it. So 3 things all in one: dining, living, and kitchen. So the kitchen does evolve quite a lot, and you guys are going to see that. Right now I have everything next to the wall there, but I kind of incorporated into that tiny little extra room I have on the side there. So that's another thing that I changed quite a lot. I was going to have that bathroom on the end there, but later on I realized it looks really weird. So I end up not keeping that room, and we have a bathroom upstairs and then a secret one outside, which I'm so excited to show you guys. So we do have a lot of storage, like pretend storage in this build, because a lot of the images I was looking at online and also a lot of the videos that I watch of houses and stuff have a lot of storage because these are houses that people live in, and I really wanted to kind of give it that sense that the Sims are living here. It's not just some little holiday home or anything. So that is why I have some cupboards and things there too. And now I'm trying to figure out this roof. So this was very foreign to me, honestly. I'm not very good at doing roofings full stop and then trying to get it modern looking. I've only really been accustomed to modern houses recently in my life. Growing up in a small country town, everyone's houses were old and either renovated or still old where I grew up. So I have no experience, and everything that I know about modern houses is either from TV shows or stuff on YouTube or Google, really. I don't have much knowledge about them. I'm not an architect, and I kind of like how I had this little deck out the back, on the side of the bedroom. I thought that was kind of sneaky and cute, but we have to get rid of it later on. I make that the bathroom. But yeah, you guys are going to see the kitchen. I'm actually really proud of what we do in the kitchen. It's so cool. It really reminds me of actual small home living and really making use of space and little nooks and crannies. You would be surprised how much stuff you guys could actually fit into small areas. Even underneath a stairwell, there is so much empty space under stairs, and you could even just put a hatch there, and you could just throw all of your junk in there that you don't need or don't use all the time. There is so many little areas that we just kind of put to waste, honestly, in our big homes. But yeah, I've been really exploring the idea of minimalism recently, and so not owning a lot of junk, and also small houses. I'm very muchly attracted to the idea of living in a tiny house. I'm not thinking about having a family or anything like that. So the idea of only having like a bedroom or two, obviously I have to think about my office being in a house. But if I didn't have my job as YouTube, then I probably would be totally fine with living in a house just like this, like a loft and then a space downstairs, because something that I've noticed about small home owners is that a lot of them have the similar opinion that why have a big house? Why focus all of your efforts into paying off a mortgage or like having to clean it, having to work and work and work and fill that giant empty house with things? Like, what is the point of that? You're wasting time for materialism when you could be spending it with your family, if that makes any sense. Like, it is very unrealistic for people of my age, young adults, to save up their own cash to buy a house. It is just totally unrealistic. Like, the prices are through the roof, and I just feel like society is against us. There's even rental traps that people are talking about. So a lot of people are kind of moving towards smaller homes as an option. Not saying that I'm against getting houses or having a family or anything. I just want to be a little bit more momentary and be able to soak up this world, soak up the people around me, and just have fun with life and not focus on all of these things that society kind of drills into us that we have to have. Like, I just feel like school and like parents and stuff, they just put these connotations into us kids, and we bring it into our adult life and we end up being unhappy. Like, you have to remember that adults are just big kids, and the midlife crisis is a saying because a lot of adults get that dream life, as society puts it. They have their house, they have their wife, they have their family, and they're just not happy with it. So what do? They turn around and do something totally different. I don't know, they buy a caravan, they go traveling, or they become an artist, they start pottery classes or something. I have no idea, but I just think that we could do that at such a younger age, and it's never too late. Anyways, the point of everything I've just said is we don't have to fit into the box that society tells us to. We don't have to have a giant house, and that is the whole reason why I really love creating these tiny homes, because it just proves that a tiny space can be something really lovely and homey too. I really believe that with less stuff and things in your life, you'll be able to make so much more room for the things that actually matter in life, like people who you love, animals which you love, enjoying nature, this planet that we live on, which is absolutely stunning and has so much to offer to us, and we have so much to offer to other people and to the planet and to the animals also. And I think we get so caught up in the rat race, and that's the whole problem with how things are running, and I feel like a lot of other people agree with that right now. Oh man, Kaleidow getting all philosophical with ya. Anyways, I adore this kitchen. This kitchen has come together so well. I'm so glad. So we got the fridge hidden away there. We have the stovetop out in the open now. And I have deleted that little bathroom. So it's all coming together now in this little bottom area of the loft, and we have the like lounge area too. It's kind of simple. We do have a bit of a TV too, but I don't think those other chairs are for watching the TV. Honestly, I don't think the Sims who would live here watch TV often. I would think they're more of like outdoorsy people. That's why they wanted a home that's in the middle of nowhere. I built this place on the lot in Windenburg, which is in the middle of the island, you know, the tiny little one. I think it's called Nowhere or something like that, but I thought it was very well suited to what I wanted to do in this build. But yeah, I also think they would be cooks. I reckon they would be good cooks because this is a very spacious kitchen. It may not have a lot of counters, but I think it's enough space. Like, Honestly, like you don't need a giant kitchen to whip up an amazing meal, and they have a stove top, and they also have a big fridge and a lot of space there to chop up their meals. So I think it would be perfectly fine. Definitely could have some culinary like geniuses living in this place. But yeah, also the reason why I have those other chairs around facing away from the TV is because I think it would be more of like a reading space. But yeah, now we're working on the tiny little bathroom upstairs. And this one kind of changed a little bit. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in it, and I still don't know how it went at the end. It kind of just, I don't know, it just somehow worked out. I feel like I do that a lot with bathrooms. I leave them to last because, I don't know, they're just like my least favorite room to create in The Sims. They're just a necessity. You have to do them. So something that I haven't really touched on yet is this upstairs area, the actual loft room. I love how I included this giant bookcase. So the people here are probably avid readers, of course, and that's probably why they have so many like little reading quiet spaces downstairs. I think it would be just such a lovely quiet area to just chill out, read a good book, and yeah, even in that bed, you could just lie down in that bed up in the loft and just soak it all up. You'll have like nature surrounding you and just lose yourself in a book so easily, no distractions. That's the dream, guys. That is the dream. And I love this bedspread that I changed it to also. The pillowcases are so cute. Oh gosh, they're so pretty. It's surprisingly hard to find good quality stuff like that though, that isn't silk. I'm not a big fan of silk, guys. But yeah, we are nearly done with the inside. I do change around a few things for the lighting. I did add a bit of a roof at the front of the build. I'm not sure if I had already showed that yet. I don't think so, but to make the lighting work a bit more so it's actually hanging from something, I added a little sliver of a roof. So you guys will be able to see that when I go back outside. So I did go for a bit of like a concrete walls for the entire build. So it's meant to be a bit more contemporary feeling, and it was definitely out of my comfort zone creating the outside of this build. You guys can see that new little roof that I have there. I swear you guys saw it and I was just jabbering on about something, of course. But you can see it there, and that's how we have one of the lights hanging down because it's a bit of a ceiling. So it works out. But I tried to do gray and white tones and then a black roof that's galvanized iron, and I think it looks all right. It definitely looks modern, not my cup of tea, but you know what? The inside is definitely my style, and a lot of houses are like that nowadays. The outside will be very cold, almost sterile looking. And then on the inside, it is warm and inviting. So I guess it's a bit of a contrast. I know nothing about architecture. I might look into it one day just because I'm curious and I love building in The Sims. So why not learn a little bit about architecture in real life? Maybe it would help me with building in The Sims. We have no idea. It possibly could. Maybe I should, because, oh man, I did have some difficulty creating something a little bit more modern. But now that we're adding in a couple like decor and plants and stuff around the place, I feel like it's starting to come together a bit and look a little bit more like one of my builds. Because yeah, I'm definitely not a modern builder, and I don't claim to be at all, but I love the inside of this house so much, and the little deck that we have out the front. It wouldn't be a Kaleidow build if it didn't have a deck or a veranda. I just love living outdoors, and I think it's very important to go out in the sun and enjoy the sunshine every once in a while. Don't burn yourself, but I definitely think it's some vitamin D in you, is healthy. In healthy doses, of course. And yep, I nearly forgot the bins. I do put them outside too, and next to those bins out the back, we do have a bit of a makeshift generator because these guys are living in the middle of an island. We don't have the eco living stuff pack yet, By the way, guys, I do believe we have won that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a poll on Twitter. The Sims tweeted it out, and there was all of these different choices for different stuff packs, and the one that I reckon won was Eco Living. Everyone was tweeting about it, so I'm really excited for it. So hopefully that does happen. But anyways, the reason why I brought that up is because we have a bit of a generator at the back. I reckon these guys would have solar panels. I couldn't find anything that resembled solar panels at all, so I decided I'll just leave that out, and then maybe in the future I will add them onto the roof or into the backyard. And now we are getting into an exciting little secret. So the inside is basically all done, the main building, and I was like, you know what? I want to make a little bit of a secret garden, and I also want to make a bit of a shed. And then as I was creating this shed, I decided to make it kind of not modern, a bit of like a tiki hut. That's why we have the hay, or I can't remember the actual word for it. It's like, it's not hay. What is it? Like, oh man, I can't remember the name of it. Hatchet? No, the hatchet is an axe. Oh my gosh. Cannot remember the name of the hay that you put onto a roof, but this little room on the side does turn it into a bathroom, and we have a little bit of a courtyard garden, I suppose you could call it. So I do add in some little stepping stones so we can imagine our Sims are like, can go in there, maybe they could meditate underneath the bamboo. I just think it would be so tranquil and just such a lovely place to live in. Oh man, I don't think I'd be able to work here. I just want to chill out like 24/7. It would be so nice. Oh my gosh, I can imagine you can just hear the ocean all around you. You could hear the forest. You could hear the whatever animals, birds, wildlife. It would be just such a lovely place to live. I've always had this romantic idea about living in remote areas. I come from a remote area, so I do like living out in the country and stuff, but I also like the necessities that we get in the city. So maybe I can find a place in the future that's like in between. That would be bomb. I would love that. Maybe here in Melbourne, actually here in Melbourne, there are a lot of places that are like out in the bush that are like an hour or so away from the city. So maybe in the future I might be able to figure out something. Yeah, now we're just adding some more decals into the bedroom. I thought it was looking a little bit plain, got a painting there, and I think I didn't leave it in, but I do add some clothing racks there hanging above the painting because I thought it would kind of give the impression that they don't have a lot of space, so they really do have to make use of every tiny little corner. So I am doing the two bathrooms now, and they are very, very different from each other. One is more nature related, it's in the tiki bathroom, let's call it a tiki hut, and the other one is a bit more cold looking, but we got those Moroccan style tiles, and it's just a bit more pristine. And also, I think it would be really cool to implement that sort of style in more of my builds where we have the fridge in a little nook, because I know in a lot of houses in real life, people actually do have the fridge sort of not separated from the kitchen, but it's not amongst or next to everything, if you know what I mean. I just really liked it. It looks so sleek and neat. But yeah, just adding in some more outdoor stuff. I wanted to add in some flowers here and there just to make it a little bit more tropical looking. Obviously, the people here also garden, so I do go in-game and I plant some things. So when you guys download this from the gallery, if you do, there are going to be a bunch of plants already potted. They're just like your simple, normal ones. I think there's a bunch of flowers, an apple tree, and some herbs and stuff. But you guys could, of course, replace them with whatever you would like to grow. Yeah, I just think it's such a cool thing wondering what the Sims who live here would do as hobbies. So I reckon gardening, cooking, they'll definitely like cook what they grow, like take it straight out of the garden, reading, and possibly writing. But they only have a tiny, tiny little TV. And the reason why is just because they're doing so many other things. They don't need to focus on television. But I think I snuck in a tablet. So there is a tablet on top of the bookcase in the loft bedroom. So you guys can find that and maybe they could use that as their computer. But doesn't this house look lovely with all of that sunshine coming through the windows? It feels so luminescent and oh man, it's just so pretty. I just love how it just flows into the room, the sunlight in the morning especially. But yeah, I did add in some lights here and there for the nighttime, but because of all of the big windows, it does kind of flow into the gardens around the house, and I didn't really have to put many lights around, honestly. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. You guys would be so proud of me. So a quick little thing I want to let you guys know about. My very first video in this series took me 6 hours. My second one took me 3 hours. And then this build only took me 2 hours. So that is just so much better than it used to be, obviously, and that's only like in 2 weeks' time. I feel like doing this series is definitely helping me improve my building skills, and I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying just my creative process throughout this. I'm just having lots of fun making tiny little homes. Yay! Alrighty guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I love you all to bits, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!